right. Okay, we are live on YouTube. I am going to make sure that it is actually streaming before I get started. But this is a Budget Bestie meetup. And what we do is once a month, we come together for a quick training. All right, we are live. A quick training, share some wins, answer any questions. And then we wrap up. So just depends on how many people show up, how long it takes. This will be on the Money Mindset podcast. And if you would like to join us for a future session, so September, I think, is already almost full. You should be able to register for October by now. Those dates are set. If September's not full, you can obviously sign up for that. It doesn't cost you a thing. We just come on and hang out, and you get to participate in a live training with me and share some wins, get to know each other a little bit. But you can go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/meetup. And tonight's just going to be a little relaxed. I have had a very long day working with my second business, which is very physical, and it is hot today. So I literally have been drenched in sweat. I need to take a shower. I'm tired. And so, yeah, we're just going with it today. It's just one of those days, right? So I'm sure you guys can relate. I also want to remind you that the budget planner is on sale until Sunday night with some extra bonuses. So if you go to budgetsmadeeasy.com, you'll see the link there at the top. I've got it on every page. So if you just go to budgetsmadeeasy.com, you'll be able to see it. If you go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/planner, it's supposed to redirect to the 2024 planner. But every time I test it, it is not. It's still going to the 2023 planner, which could just be my computer. I don't know what's going on. So you can try that. But if it says 2023, it's not the right one. So if you see leopard print, it's not that one. It's the dahlia, like light pink and navy blues. It's really pretty. Every year, I always think, oh, this is the best one ever. And then the next year it's like, oh, no, I like this one better. I have made a few updates to it based on what people are asking for. So there is a yearly expenses sheet. I kind of had it. You could use that with other sheets, but I made a very clear yearly expenses sheet. So you know what it's for. I updated like the goal planning sheets and the monthly end of the month check-in sheets and kind of tweaked a few things there. So that is now available for you. If you want to go check it out before the bonuses go away. So the bonus is monthly debt tracking. So a whole like debt tracking planner, basically, the year review. So you can quickly and easily see how much progress you actually have made. Because I have found so many times that the women that I work with think that like when you have a bad month, right, Cindy, like it feels like you're not making any progress. But then whenever you look back and you can see like the whole year at once, you realize, oh, I have made progress. So I've included that for you so you can actually see how much progress you really have made through the year.
I've gone backwards this year. I know it. I know it. So basically what I gained last year, I think I went backwards.
Oh, man.
So
well, there's still time to turn it around.
At least to catch up a little bit.
Exactly. I know you had a really good year last year. You really you were doing so good, but I know you've had some setbacks this year. So hopefully you can turn things around in the fall before the end of the year. But of course, there's always next year too, right? There's always next year.
Cross everything. Cross my eyes. Cross everything.
Yeah. Well, there's still time, and we have a lot of stuff in Money Success Club happening in the fall to help reset. It's a good time to reset, right? When the kids go back
if I can be up to date by April for my taxes, that will be a win.
I have faith in you. You did it last year.
I know,
do it again.
But I am like way far behind like I was the previous years.
I know. Hopefully we can get you caught up in some of our get shit done sessions. So maybe we'll get you there. As long as you get it done by May, right? Or April, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Friday. We do on Friday. Yeah.
Friday.
Noon. I think I have it at noon on Friday.
Okay.
I'll double check. All right. So tonight I want to talk about uh, the fact that you don't need to do a monthly budget. And that's going to surprise you. Hi, Rhonda. Rhonda's a newbie. So obviously this is Budgets Made Easy. I teach you all about budgeting. So you're probably like, Ashley, what are you talking about that you don't need a monthly budget? So what I mean by that is you don't have to, unless you get paid one time a month. You don't need to do just a overall monthly budget. Now you can, there's nothing wrong with doing it. It gives you a good overview of where your money's going through the whole month, right? And you get like an overall picture, but I actually rarely do a monthly budget. I do occasionally when I just kind of want to see and have it all laid out like in one place, an overview, right? To just kind of check in and see where like the subscriptions, they add up sneakily and fast. And so when I want to like check in and see those types of things and kind of see where money is going leaking out, I will kind of do a monthly overall view. But generally speaking, you don't have to do a monthly budget. What I teach is budgeting by paycheck. So what that means is each payday or every week. So if you get paid sporadically, or you have more than, like if you're doing two incomes, if you're doing budgets and combining your money with your spouse, if you have more than one paycheck every week for the month, you can just do one for every week. Now, I still do, like if I know somebody's coming in a different week, I will still do an extra paycheck for that. There's just because I like to see, okay, when this money comes in, this is what it goes to, but you don't have to. You could do it on a weekly basis. And so if you get paid one time a month, it's still a paycheck budget, right? You're just planning the paycheck that you have. And if you do get paid once a month, it's a good idea to still do some things weekly, like food and gas and some other spending, because it's really easy. And what I see what happens to a lot of people that get paid monthly, it's hard to get it to stretch out the whole month. So like at the beginning of the month, you feel rich and you have all the money and spend a bunch on food and other odds and ends and things that maybe you put off the previous month because at the end of the month you were running short, right? And so when you finally get that payday in again, it happens again. And so then by the end of the month, you're kind of struggling again. And so what you can do is still kind of break that down weekly, even if you get paid once a month. So if you get paid bi-weekly, then you're doing two paychecks a month, except for the 2 times a year, you get an extra paycheck, right? If you get paid on like the 15th and the 30th every month, it's 2 paychecks every single month, right? And so once you plan your budget for each paycheck, that's where the magic happens. Because when you just have an overall monthly budget, unless you're getting all that money at once, if you get paid once a month, you still have to figure out what you have for each thing for each payday, right? Like you need to know how much to spend on food, on gas, which bills to pay, which sinking funds to put money into, what money goes to debt. Like if you wait till the end of the month for those things, your money's not going to end up where you want it to go. So if you have, let's say, as an example, $200 a payday to put toward debt, if you're like, okay, I'll send it at the end of the month, that $400, if you get paid twice a month, will most likely be gone and it won't end up where you want it to go, right? But if you get paid and you have a plan for each payday, when you get paid, let's say on Friday, you can go ahead. I know it takes a little bit to get comfortable to do that, but if you go ahead and send it on Friday instead of saying, oh, well, I'm going to wait just in case. Well, just in case will happen, as we know, even if it's not like a true need or true emergency, that money will end up disappearing, especially even if you just wait till Monday. So if you have it planned, you know your budget is working. Once you get in that groove, you can go ahead and send it. But if you're not doing your paycheck budgets, you don't know that, right? And so you may just say, okay, I have $400 a month to send toward debt. Well, you don't know when to send it. And if you wait to the end of the month, it's probably going to disappear by then. And you're going to be like, where did it go? And why am I not making any progress on my debt? Right? So you need to make a plan for when money comes in. So your paychecks, if you get a bonus, your tax return, if you are getting a a settlement, insurance money, if you're selling something big, like, all the things where you have like a chunk of extra money coming in, you need to do a budget for it. Because if you don't, you will end up spending the money on something you didn't intend for it to go to, right? And that's just what happens. And so when we're intentional with where we want our money to go, that's when things start to come together. That's when you start to pay off debt and you actually start to save money, right? Your money ends up going where you want it to go when you make a plan for it that's realistic and that you can actually stick to. So that is important too. But that's a discussion for another day, making it realistic. I'm going to do another boot camp in September, and we will talk a lot about that during the boot camp, making a realistic plan. Because that's going to look different for everybody in your situation. But I just want you to remind you to set yourself up for success and not failure. I was actually teasing my husband tonight as he was criticizing my driving as I was driving. I have a tendency to drive like far to the right side of the road. I don't know why. It just happens. Like I'm constantly afraid I'm going to hit somebody's mailbox or trash can when it's trash day, but yet I still do it. Right. And I hit curbs and all the I'm a terrible driver. I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and driving is not a strength of mine. It never has been. And so he was making fun of me. And we talked about a pair of wheels and tires that he had bought for me, like, I don't know, 2 sets ago, another car ago. And they were really big wheels. They were like 22-inch rims or something. They had really skinny tires. So when I hit a curb, I dinged the wheels instead of just, kind of scuffing the tire a little bit when it's like a normal size tire. And so I told him, I was like, how I am. You did not set me up for success by buying these wheels. Like you knew I was going to hit a curb. So you did not set me up for success by buying me these wheels that you knew I was going to hit a curb and ding the wheels. And so he agreed with me, but the same concept goes for your plan and your money. Like don't set yourself up for failure, set yourself up to succeed. And by doing that is making a realistic plan and making a plan for each paycheck when money comes in. However that money comes in for you. So whether it's weekly, if it's bi-weekly, if it's twice a month, if it's once a month, whatever it is, make a plan for it. Okay. An overall monthly budget doesn't really do anything for you. And if you're following how I teach you to budget by paycheck, your month does not start on the first unless you get paid on the first. It's first paycheck to the next month's first paycheck, right? You can do the first to the 31st, but it's like a whole other layer of complication and steps that you don't need to, like, why? You don't need to do it that way. I like simple. I like easy to follow, right? We want to set yourself up for success. And so making a plan for each paycheck is going to do that for you. And it does not go the 1st to 31st. So if you just have a monthly budget and you're like, this month from the 1st to 31st, if you're using an app or something, that's what it's doing. It may look like you've way overspent on certain things when maybe you didn't, because your budget started on the 8th. Like, so you have 8 days there or 7 days of spending that didn't actually go to that month's budget. It was the previous month's budget. And how I do that, I teach how I do that on my website, on the podcast, on YouTube. You can get a free guide if you're like, I don't know how to do this. I'm not sure how to get started with the paycheck budget system. Go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/start, and you can get the free printable guide, a checklist, monthly budget buster. So those things that we typically forget, that's like seasonal and birthdays and holidays and all those things. I have a list for each month to kind of help jog your memory. Think of things that you usually forget, that those things that you forget are what usually ruins your plan, right? Like you've got this great plan on paper, and next thing you know, the kids need shoes and school supplies and Christmas and birthdays. And you're like, I can't save because I didn't plan for any of this stuff. So I have a list of all of that stuff as well for you. And it doesn't cost you anything. So you can go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/start to kind of help you get started with that. But I posted this, you don't need to do a monthly budget, in my Facebook group the other day. And I liked seeing people's reactions because that's what everybody teaches when it comes to budgeting is do a monthly budget. But you don't need to do a monthly budget unless you get paid once a month. And even then, like I said, you still need to kind of break it down so you can get that money to stretch for certain things through the month and you don't spend it all in the beginning of the month. So even then, you still need to do a little bit more work than just a monthly budget. So if that's all you've been doing and you're like, why can't I stick to it? Why can't I make this work? Let's do a budget per paycheck, because that's where the magic happens. And that's where you're going to start to make real progress. Rhonda says, thank you so much for explaining everything. You're very welcome, Rhonda. And I have explained this more in previous episodes, so I don't want to go too deep on like how to do your budget and all of that, because that takes me a little over an hour to kind of really break that down and show you exactly how I teach you to do it. But there are some previous podcast episodes that explain it as well. And then, like I said, you can get the printable guide that'll explain it as well. But if like reading something doesn't make it click, I do have a like video course that you can get as well. All right. So who is there? You're welcome, Rhonda. Is there anybody that has any questions about setting up your budget? And let me know if you feel comfortable unmuting yourself. Let me know. Do you do a monthly budget? And do you do a paycheck budget, or maybe you do both? Cindy, where are you at right now? Are you when you are doing your budget, are you doing by paycheck? Because you've been with me for a while. Okay.
Yeah, I do it by paycheck, and this is going to be, hang on a second. I wonder if I can change this on the fly.
Let me see.
I can. Here we go. I don't know how well you can see this, but I do it kind of like you do. I highlight the 2-week period of my paycheck, actually Dan's paycheck. And I use 3 different colors so I can distinctly see, the thing. And I mark the payday on that first day. And then I write in each day that stuff is due and how much. This was for July, as you may have been able to see, because August only got a couple things marked on it. And so that's kind of where I am right now, is to go through, because I do it 2 ways. I have a spreadsheet that basically just has the category. So if it's my stream, it's a miscellaneous bill, it's utilities, it's credit card, whatever my monthly payments are. And then under payee, I put mortgage, or I put credit card, Lowe's, or Netflix and Spotify, whatever that is under payee. And then I put the due date. And that way, when I've got it in Excel, I can sort it by category. So I can just zero in on streaming and print that page out and see where I can cut. Or I can do it straight alpha, or I can do it by due date. So once I catch this up, I'll go into each of my different accounts, especially my credit cards, and update the total balance due, the minimum due. And I also write down the interest rate just so that I know. And then once I update those, I put it in due date order and I throw it onto my calendar. But that way I've got 2 ways that I look at it. This is kind of like my prep sheet.
I love that. Yeah. And I love the idea because of sorting it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can sort it. I sort it 2 ways. One is by due date, and then I put it onto the calendar. And the other way, I can evaluate by category. So as in the instance, this is now middle of August, and I have not balanced or categorized any of my statements for this year. I can't use Quicken to look at that. But this is a quick snapshot. And I've got a few things that I have ended up using the card that I hadn't used in a while, so it's not on my list, so I have to add it on. So I'm doing that, and then I'm still having an issue with I'm out of balance someplace as far as money coming in and money going out is not equal
Mm.
at all. And I was worried about with Dan being off on medical and having to work 1 week, and then he had a week of vacation, and then the week of vacation, it's confusing. But anyway, he got paid yesterday for the Walgreens portion, which was like his vacation time. I said, okay, so when you get the medical leave, short-term medical leave, how do we get that money? You know, do they send a check? Do they deposit it? But they don't have any of our bank information. Do they pay it to Walgreens? How does this work? So we were trying to figure that out yesterday because, and then they said, well, they'll put all the figures through to Walgreens and then we'll get paid. Okay. They already gave us a paycheck for this weekend or this week. So do we get another one between now and Wednesday? Or do we have to wait 2 more weeks to get the medical check?
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I
I just
would-
got checks in the mail whenever I had short-term disability.
so I
Like
was
they
starting-
paid me directly.
Yeah. So I was starting to freak out a little bit because I wasn't sure how it was going to come or when.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't get that second half, because he's 2 weeks, so the check we got yesterday that was deposited basically covers enough for 1 week. And then what we're looking for medical is for the second week. And I thought, if we don't get it this week, then I'm going to be maxing out my credit cards next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know about this. So this afternoon, I checked my bank account and they had put it in.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
There's
Whew.
about $500 or $600 more than his usual pay.
Because it doesn't
So-
have deductions and stuff. Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of. So I told him he's got to, they don't just give us a pay stub anymore. He has
Right.
to go to work and go on the website and download it from there. And I said, please, I need to know, do we owe somebody taxes? Are they going to take it out? What's, did they not pay our premium for medical?
I think
You
the
know.
way it worked whenever I had short-term disability, they take it out after tax. So you're already taxed on it. So at least that's how it worked for me. So I didn't pay tax on it.
Okay. So I don't know how it's.
But it
gonna work.
doesn't have your like HSA deductions. It doesn't have your 401k. It doesn't
Yeah,
have
see,
all
that's
the
what
other
I don't
deductions.
know.
That's probably why it's
Yeah,
more.
so I told him, I said, I need that so I can make sure how many hours you were paid, how many were for medical. What did they take all the insurance and stuff out? Did they take all the taxes out they're supposed to, so I know. So right now I put like that $550 into a separate savings account to sit there until I know what's going on. And so right now I'm where I should be, I think, with what to do over the next 2 weeks. But I have to catch up my calendar and my sheet. So
Yeah, all that medical stuff will come out of just his regular paycheck. So I don't think that you really need to worry about any of that. But yeah, double check just to make sure. But I think you're fine.
I hope
Can
so.
I see your calendar again? I thought that it looked pretty cool. I'm just trying to get an idea because I don't know how to budget, so that
Yeah.
looked pretty neat.
Well, it's based off of what Ashley does for the paycheck thing, and she had told us how to put it onto a calendar. So what I've done, hopefully you can see this, because it's a bigger calendar, because I like to be able to have space to write.
Right.
So where am I here? So from the end of June, I have this pink part kind of highlighted down through this part here, and it's all in pink. So that's from my paycheck, from my husband's check that was here. Is that Wednesday? Yeah. From here and then down to the 13th. Then he got paid on the 12th or through the 11th, I'm sorry. Then the 12th through the, where am I here? 25th?
Oh,
it's in
yeah.
yellow.
Okay.
Okay, so that's in yellow for the next 2-week pay period. And then I use a third color just to kind of give more contrast for myself, starting the 26th. And then it goes on to August, where I've got it continued in green up to here. And then this is the next paycheck here, and that's in pink again. I just
Okay.
don't have all my bills listed on here.
Thank you so much. That
You're
makes
welcome.
complete sense. I've never seen anything like that before.
I hadn't either until I started working with Ashley 2-3 years ago. And it took me a long time because I don't know, I probably joined 4 years ago. But the first year was like a complete bust because I couldn't sit down and always be available for her lives. And I'm not one to watch replays of anything. Not my business, not this. It's like I need to be almost participating or in the now with it. I can't go back and
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't watch replays very often. So yeah.
So it took me the first year, I started out with 1 or 2 of the sessions, and then it just kind of died off. And then the next year when January started, I said, okay, I'm going to start this. And I went a little bit further. And I think it was the 3rd year that I finally, it started to sink in, really. And that's when I think I started using these, and I got a big enough calendar that I could map everything out and didn't have to squinch everything around. Because, some days you might have 6, 7, 8 things coming out on the same day.
That's true.
Which
Yeah.
is especially when you have streamings and everything else.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thank you for sharing that, Cindy. And Rhonda, if you're in the Facebook group, I did share like last week an example of the calendar and kind of explain the paycheck budgets a little bit. So the way like Cindy had the different colors, the paydays or the due dates in that payday would actually, once you get on the schedule, how I teach it, would be paid from the previous paychecks. You're actually getting ahead by like a week or 2 weeks, depending on like
I
how
haven't
it
gotten
lands.
to that point.
It takes some
I
time.
did a lot of it. Like right now, I've got, I have enough for our mortgage already saved for September 1, plus another half of a payment.
Oh,
Because I take
nice.
half out of each paycheck.
So you're a
when I
little
do it
ahead.
that
Mhm.
way, I get ahead a little bit. And then if I absolutely need to, I have been known to dip into it.
What is the Facebook group? How do I find that? Like, because this is all brand new to me. So
Oh,
I
well,
do
I'm
wanna
glad you
join.
found it. Yeah. So if you just search Budgets Made Easy, it should come up because it's like Budgets Made Easy with Ashley, saving money, paying off debt, budgeting community. Like it's really long, but if it, Budgets Made Easy with Ashley is like the beginning of it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So there's a few like videos in there that I've taught. But if you get the starter guide, that should help you like get started and then to go from there. But yeah, definitely the calendar is like one of the first things. So you can just visually see it, right? And kind of map it out so that you can figure out what bills to pay with each paycheck. So definitely get you, and you can print off, like if you don't already have a like a calendar, you can just print off one for free off online too. All right, Cindy, do you have, or Rhonda, do you have any wins that you'd like to share for this week? I know Cindy's just been trying to maintain.
I'm just in survival mode, but Dan's back to work as of yesterday, so that's good.
Yay. And you showed up here tonight. That's a win,
and,
right?
yeah, and Brody was here when it was time to log in. That's why I wasn't right here when
Oh.
it started, because I had to see my kid. But one win would actually be Brody's win last week. He bought his first brand new car.
Yay.
The sad part was yesterday, he had a flat tire.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh.
had
Oh,
a
no.
screw in it. And so he had to get it over to, that's the one downside to getting a Subaru. There are several in Michigan, but no one really close to us. So
Oh.
the closest is Ann Arbor, and that's like a 30 to about a 40-minute drive.
Did he have to get a tire from the dealership?
Well, especially since it was so new and warranty and
Oh,
stuff, we weren't sure
okay.
exactly what happened. He was able to change the tire to put the little donut tire on.
Yeah, but you
And
can't
then
go
he
very
drove
far
it
in that
out
thing.
there because, if it's under warranty still. who
Yeah, true.
wants to pay
Good
for
point.
a $200+ he just put
Exactly.
$5,000 down on the car itself,
Yeah.
And so, he took it out there and they did end up replacing the tire.
Oh,
Because apparently
nice.
he had driven maybe 5-6 miles on it, I guess, before he realized it.
Oh no.
Just up to the coffee shop and back to his girlfriend's house. And it was apparently enough that it hurt something on the rim or on
Yeah.
something else. I don't know exactly what it was. So they actually had to replace the whole thing.
Ah, gotcha. Well,
And
that's
so-
awesome that they did that.
But yeah, at least they, put it under warranty. So
Nice. Nice.
so yeah, I'm gonna claim his win because he worked hard. He worked,
Well, and you helped too.
and I
Like you
helped to guide him.
helped.
I went over and helped him. We took the cars for the test drives and everything else. We both spent about 5 hours over there Saturday and
Ugh,
Wednesday.
Buying cars is terrible. I hate
Oh,
it.
it is. But
Hate it.
I was really impressed because I've been buying Chevys forever since the kids were little.
Yeah, that's all we have. Yeah.
And I was really impressed with their customer service.
And they
Because
they
it's
last a long time. I think they're pretty good vehicles.
And that's why Brody chose that. They had high ratings and everything else, but they came over to us. Like I said, we were there 4 or 5 hours Saturday with the test drives and stuff. And they would come over and the guy was juggling 2 other customers in addition to us. But he was always updating us, let me
Nice.
take care of them. They're doing this, this, and this, and then I'll be back over and we can get you into a test car. Constantly, we didn't go maybe a half hour without somebody checking on us.
Awesome. That's nice.
And
Yeah.
so I was really impressed. 'Cause I'm not
Well,
used to
good.
that. I'm used to
Yeah,
just
that's
sitting
awesome.
and waiting.
Like, hello, I'm here.
I'm still here.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Rhonda, did you have a win that you'd like to share? And it can be small. It doesn't have to be anything. Even just showing up here is a win, right?
Well, I found you after doing a exhaustive Google search on how to budget
Oh, awesome.
because I've never taken it serious until I realized that I'm living off my credit cards. Like
yes.
all my credit cards are about to be maxed out and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, I cannot keep doing this because, you know what I'm saying? I have to be able to pay my bills. I don't want to be homeless. I don't want to be without power. So yeah, I'm like, let me find something. I was about to give up until I came across yours. I was like, oh, and then you had the free class. I'm like, okay, let me try this out. Let me see what happens. And
That's
here I am.
awesome. That's so cool that you found this meetup like that fast with just finding me. That's pretty cool. That is awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. And that is a win that you are like getting started and you've had that realization and you're taking the steps to improve your situation. So that is awesome. I'm going to have more trainings and stuff coming up next month as well. And then of course I have the podcast and other resources for you. So if you need anything, of course, feel free to email me. Definitely join the Facebook group. Check out the Money Mindset podcast. And if you'd like to join us for another Budget Bestie meetup, go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/meetup. We do this every month. So September and October's dates are already in there. And don't forget that the budget planner is on sale. The new design and the updates are available now on my website at budgetsmadeeasy.com. And you'll see the thing there because I don't think /planners, it's not working for me anyway. And I have tried to get it to fix it. Technology, Cindy understands, she knows technology is not my friend. Like, just not, why do things just not work? I don't understand. It's always something.
I used to get it a lot easier years ago. I think it's my problem. I think is age. And my mind just doesn't want to cue into things like it used to, because I used to do flyers for work and all that kind of stuff. Now I want to do flyers for my business. And it's like, I don't even know where to start. It's so stupid.
But mine is like, stuff just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Like, what like they said it works, but when I do it, it is not working. It's going to the wrong page, but the tech people say it's working. I don't know. I'm afraid to tell people that. You will get a budget planner if you go If it's still the 2023, like it'll still work. It just won't be the new one. So I guess you can go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/planner. But yeah, I have stuff all over my website. So you can't miss it if you want the new design. Cause I'm like, all right, I gotta have this stuff everywhere so that people can see it because it is just not working. So
And
hopefully
Dan-
those work.
Dan's convinced that printers do not like him because if they're going to
Yeah.
jam or they're going to do anything else, I can use our printer right now and he'll go next and try to print something and it won't print or it's not connected or some stupid thing. I'm like, what's the matter?
Yeah, that's so funny. That is so funny. When
Yeah.
I was a police officer, I had to have literally 2 of like everything. Everything broke on me. Like even my gun broke one time. Like,
Oh,
and it
geez.
was one, like Glock said it was 1 out of 3 that had done that had broken in this way out of like millions that they've made, right? Mine was 1 out of 3. That's what I'm saying. Like nothing ever works for me. I have to have 2 of everything. It's ridiculous. So anyway, all right.
I
Oh,
was
go
just
ahead.
looking at the student loan account.
Oh,
It's
yes.
it's
I've seen people getting stuff
awesome.
forgiven too, though. Have you got anything forgiven yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Those that have mostly been under the there was 2 different things. One was a lawsuit of predatory
Oh, yes.
stuff. And then the other one, if you got your degree and you work in a like a public domain, like
Public service.
public service kind of thing, and you've paid 10 years of payments on your loan already, then you can apply to have the rest forgiven.
Right.
So those are the 2 main things I've been seeing. Brody and I both applied and were accepted for the other thing that the Supreme Court shot down with Biden.
Oh, okay.
So he's supposed to, he better get in there. I think he has to reapply for the income driven repayment because he
I
had
think so.
approved prior, but it was a different company. And
Right.
that
They've all
ours moved to a
switching
different
now.
company now. I
Mhm.
think he needs to redo that again.
That's what I've seen.
Dan's salary, we're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But our payment's supposed to be $249.82.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So
That's not
that's
too
not too bad. I'm going to talk to a company that works with our credit union to see if I should start taking Social Security yet or not,
Yes.
because that's, I think, $1,100 a month.
Yeah.
So in theory, I could put, even if I put 500 toward it and
Yeah.
500 towards something else, I'd be ahead, or 500 here and 500 into a retirement account that we only have Dan's he's got 2 retirement accounts, or pay for life insurance for me.
Mhm.
Dan has a policy, but I don't.
Right.
So those types of things, but part of me is saying to wait, but I don't think, because I haven't worked the last 12 years to where I have Social Security taken out. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to add anything more into it. And if I wait till 72, I'm only going to gain, I think it was, I don't know, a few $100s. I don't think it goes to $1,000 or, to $2,000. So I don't know if it's worth it to wait.
Yeah. Because that's a
No
lot.
guarantee,
Yeah,
that-
exactly.
that I'll live that long. I mean, I hope to, but who knows? I'd
Yeah.
rather get it now and actually put it to these things. And in 3 years, if I did $1,000, I think it's 3.5 years, I'd have the student loan paid off.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It definitely does sound like that would probably be the best option for you, but you really
Yeah.
need to sit down with somebody to like run the
Yeah.
numbers.
There's a financial company that goes through our credit union that I can just call them up and give them my numbers, income numbers and everything else. And kind of, what should I do?
Yeah.
What would this look like? You know, so I need to do that before the end of the year. I'd
Yeah.
like to do it sooner, but I'm giving myself that grace.
Yes, absolutely.
But-
And I do think, of course, you need to talk to your accountant as well, because it might affect your taxes since if you guys do a joint return. I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure. So you might need to
Yeah, that's the other
wait
part of
with
it.
the
Yeah.
taxes or talk
Um,
to see if you might need to change your filing.
Yeah.
You know? And so,
But yeah, have to start paying on this October 10th. And interest starts to accrue September 1.
Mm.
So what I was thinking, I have no idea how much the interest is going to be.
yeah, because the parent loans have the highest interest rate.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of September 1, going in, seeing how much it is and paying that interest off.
Mm-hmm.
And then October 10th, pay the $250. And then October 1st, see what the interest is. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah. So you're
Because
just
that
kind of
keeps
like
the
trying to
interest-
at least keep the interest down. So it's not compounding.
Right. So it's
Mhm.
not added to the principal. So hopefully I'm always paying the principal.
Yeah.
If the amount of the interest is manageable.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And just make an interest only payment September 1 and see how that goes.
Well, and they might, at least the way mine accrued interest, it was like every day it accrued
Yeah,
interest.
That's what it
So
sounds like.
it's
Yeah.
like a perpetual thing that you would.
Yeah. Dan had a loan. His wasn't very big when we got married. And, the payments weren't that huge, of course, because we're talking, 30 years ago, because we'll be married 30 years next week or next month. So, but we took maybe 2-3 years and had it paid off.
Mhm.
There wasn't a whole lot, but, it's so much different now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it is.
and-
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And my mom, my dad died when I was 16. And at that time, children could get Social Security.
Mhm.
I could get it from my dad until I was 21.
Oh, 21. Okay. I thought it was
So-
18.
Well, it is now.
It is now. Okay.
But when it happened to us, I was 16 when he died. So from 16 until I went to college, because I went to Adrian also, and it's not cheap. I didn't have any concept of that, really. I was the first one to go to college. My mom and dad didn't go to college. And so, but my mom had put all of that from age 16 to 18 in a savings account. She was a bank
Nice.
teller. What do you expect?
Yeah. True.
So she put it all away to pay for college wherever I went.
Nice.
I don't know if she ever took any loans out or not. I just know that she paid for everything and there wasn't anything for me to take care of when I graduated. I don't know how she did it. She never told me. It was she didn't talk about stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't talk about health either, for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is all still kind of new to me, and I'm trying to help Brody through it too.
Yeah. It's a lot to learn because it has changed even since I graduated, which
Yeah.
I graduated in 06. So, how many ever years ago that was? I can't do the math right now. It's changed even since then. I was like, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. But all right.
Okay.
Well, I will hopefully see you Friday for one of our Get Shit Done sessions for
I'm
Money Success
hoping
Club.
Two,
Hopefully.
John wants to go to Sky Zone to the trampoline,
Oh, fun. Yeah.
which would be probably around noon. So I will try to talk about it that day.
What time is the meeting?
That is for Money Success Club members, and it will
Oh,
be
okay.
Friday at noon. But if
Okay.
that's something that you're interested in, just send me a message or an email and we can talk. It won't be open again to the public until October. But if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Since you just found me, you just kind of missed it. It was just open. Only like 2 weeks ago, I guess. I feel like I just opened it and then it'll be open again in October.
Do we have accountability or anything this week?
No. So we just have the
Ne-
get shit
next
done
week?
session. And then next week we have our end of the month celebration.
Okay,
Next week. Yep.
okay.
I know. I was like,
I'll
it
try to
seems like
I'll-
it's been a
I'll
minute.
try to
since-
have something to celebrate.
Yay.
It's been too long.
You're getting there. You're getting there. And Rhonda, I am so happy that you found us and that you're here tonight. I hope that it was helpful for you. And of course, let me know if you need anything else or have any other questions. We are here to help support you. So Cindy's in the Facebook group as well. She's very helpful in there. And so are several of my Money Success Club members. You guys are super helpful and in there in the free group as well. So
I try to be.
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Love you,
You're so
Rhonda.
welcome. All right. Well, you guys have a good night.
Me
And
too, Ashley.
I hope you can kind of this week, kind of.
Yeah, I'm trying, but it would be so much easier if John was in school.
So
But
I
at
get it.
least I'm not driving him all over the place.
Well, but yeah,
Because,
I get it. Yes.
It's 45 minutes to camp and 45 minutes back.
Oh, I
and
didn't
then
realize it was that far.
it's
Oh.
it's usually it's a half hour. But
Oh.
I allow 45 because
Traffic
if he
and-
wants to stop at Tim Hortons,
And
and
you're like,
get to the Coke,
"Sure,
and then I have to get a coffee.
of
um,
course.
Or we have crazy construction around here between here and camp. So then I come home by 10:30, and then I have to leave again at 2:15 to go pick him up.
Yeah, that doesn't leave you.
4 days
yeah.
a week, and this year it's bothered me. It hasn't bothered me in the past. But this year, yeah.
This year has been a little weird. My kids go back to school next week. So I'm like, oh, I can maybe get something done. Hopefully. We'll see.
2 weeks from today, I'm counting.
2 weeks. All right. Well, you guys
All
have a
right.
good night.